Hyundai launched the latest version, facelift, of the very popular, ever popular i20 in South Africa just a couple of months ago. And you'll see there were a couple of changes to the front end. The trapezoidal grille over here that got a little bit larger. The very nice daytime running lights over the top of the headlights over there. And just neatened up the lines, freshened them up a little bit. This is the fluid version, which means it is the upper version spec-wise. So you do get the very, very neat mag wheels over here on the car. And you'll see the rubbing strip down the bottom, round to the back, and they made a few changes to the rear end as well. The tail lights got changed and just, again, freshened up, neatened up the rear end of the car. Being a B-segment hatchback, you'll see that boot-wise, you open up to standard 256 litres of boot space, which of course if you drop the rear seats, which can drop 2/3, 1/3, you can go up to just over 900 litres of space, load space in the car, which is pretty useful and very much in the ballpark for this segment. Overall, very, very neat, stunning in this dark metallic blue colour of the test car as well, and it certainly cuts a pretty impressive picture. Let's see inside. Moving to the interior, you'll see it cuts a pretty neat figure overall, and Hyundai have certainly gone upmarket with the car and improved. Remembering this is the slightly upper spec version, there is a lower spec, slightly cheaper version, mechanically identical as well. But you do of course get electric front windows, electric mirrors, your multi-function steering wheel over here with all the functions that you need and want, and certainly works very, very nicely. And you move to the dashboard, and of course here's where a lot of the legends are that I want to show you on any test car that I do drive. And if you have a look here, you'll see that I've done 402 kilometers on this test, showing you in the center over there. And what I think is pretty impressive about that is, if I just scroll through a little bit, see 235 kilometers left in the tank, and I have averaged, with a lot of freeway use I will admit, but I've averaged 6.3 liters per 100 kilometers for this test period. That is good. Some people have criticized the i20 for not being the most economical car around. I can't agree with them, can I? Not with figures like that. Then of course you come over here, and this is something that I've criticized Hyundai for in the past, and they've come to the party, and I think they've done a good job over here, is of course the full touchscreen facility that they have, which does on this model include navigation as well. Very effective, very useful, works very nicely, and also obviously your Bluetooth for your phone, which is a crucial item as well. All over there, all works very well. You move down to your climate control air conditioning on the fluid models. Neat, works nicely, and below there you can see USB port, 12-volt power socket, etc. On the 1.2 litre versions, you'll find that they have a 5-speed manual gearbox. You go up to the 1.4s, you do go up to a 6-speed on those ones as well. But generally 2 airbags on the vehicle, and you can see just nice quality. The quality of the finishes has definitely improved, the fit and finish, the feel, the plushness, etc. And through to the back, of course, and decent space for 4 in this car, 2 youngsters, any way you want it. But certainly very, very market competitive in the B segment. The only thing I've found with this particular test vehicle, and interestingly, when I was on the launch of the facelift, it was down at the coast. And when I drove the 1.2 litre versions at the coast, I found they were fine, more than adequate. But I've got to say that perhaps at reef altitudes, the 1.2 does feel a tiny, tiny bit breathless. With 61 kilowatts and 115 newton meters of torque, I did notice a few times that I certainly would personally, and this is personal, prefer a little bit more power out of the vehicle. You can go to the 1.4 versions. They give you 74 kilowatts and 133 newton meters, and in the manual version on the 1.6 you do also get a 6-speed manual gearbox. So got to look at that and think about that very, very carefully. Price wise, you're looking at 241,900 Rand for this version. You do, if you want the 6-speed manual in the same spec level, you do go up to 266,900. So it's 25,000 Rand more for the extra bit of power and going up to the 6-speed gearbox, as I mentioned. Of course, it is always a case of budget and deciding what you want. Another difference is on the 1.2s, you get a 2-year 30,000 kilometer service plan, whereas you do move up to a 3-year 60,000 service plan with the 1.4. So there is a little bit of value thrown in there as well. According to research I've done, you do get a Euro NCAP 4-star rating with the i20s. Overall, we all know the i20 has been a success story for Hyundai in South Africa, really been tremendously successful for them, and it well deserves it. This latest facelift simply brings it up to date, makes it more market competitive, and just overall certainly brings it into the game. There's so many competitors. I always say this, but it's not worth me going through all of them, but you need to check it out, and certainly check out the Hyundai i20 when you're looking for your next B-segment hatchback. For Motor Matters, I'm Eleanor, and I'll see you next time.